What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris, this is 4K Motoring, and today is another Nissan Titan video. If you guys are active on the forums at all, you guys have seen this post over and over again talking about the smart charging alternator system, the little gray plug that's on the battery cable, and all the problems that it seems to be causing in these trucks. What I'm going to do today is kind of explain a little bit about what's going on with that system, why you might want to change it, and what happens if you do. First disclosure, if you're not already familiar with this channel, this is a Nissan Titan XD, a 2018, not the regular Nissan Titan, but it does have the 5.6 liter gas V8, not the diesel, so it is pretty similar in most respects. The charging system, it has a little bit bigger alternator, but otherwise everything should be working the same as the normal Nissan Titan, so I'll show you what's going on with that. Typically, as you drive your vehicle, your alternator should be charging your battery. Your vehicle should be running at somewhere between 13.5 and 14.5 volts, depending on the vehicle, somewhere in that range most of the time. That way your battery is charging and all of your electrical items are being supplied with the power that they need. What Nissan has done with this system is good in theory, it really is. So in this ever-expanding attempt to increase fuel economy in these vehicles, what they've noticed is that when you're sitting at idle or in kind of stop-and-go traffic, low RPM scenarios, that alternator puts a decent draw on the accessory drive of that motor and sucks some of that power away. So for it just to idle or just move along at very low RPM, it actually takes a lot more fuel than it might otherwise. So what Nissan has done is created this smart charging alternator that monitors your battery voltage, monitors load conditions, and a couple other sensors and features. Puts that into an algorithm and decides at certain points to stop the alternator from charging the battery. From what I understand, this is done to increase that efficiency, but what it does is put a lot more draw and cycles on the battery itself, which really seems to be causing these batteries to fail prematurely, especially if you don't have one of the new AGM batteries. If it's one of the older lead acid batteries, they don't seem to be handling this well at all, and they're causing a lot of problems. This is certainly not the most accurate voltmeter that I've ever seen installed in a vehicle, but it does give us kind of a rough idea of what the engine's doing. And this is where the engine, I believe, should be at most of the time. When you start it up, it goes to here, and on the highway it kind of goes to here. This is what I believe to be fully charging the battery. This is where it sits on the gauge. And here we are after driving a little bit. We can see where that gauge is kind of floating at. We've definitely come down some. So with the voltmeter right there on the truck, let's go ahead and connect an actual multimeter to the battery and see what we're actually putting out. Okay, we do have our multimeter set up to the battery, connected, and we're showing 13.23 volts right now. Let's go ahead and see what we're showing inside the vehicle. So that is our mark when we're showing 13 volts. So it seems like when this vehicle is up to temperature, it is lessening the actual voltage, and this is what it's giving us right at 13 volts. Really, it's more than 12.6, so that should be fine. Let's see what happens. This is the plug that we're talking about right here, the smart charging plug. So let's go ahead and just unclip that and see if we get any instant changes. So this is our plug. You got to kind of push it up a little bit. Little tab on the bottom disconnects, and we can set that aside. And almost instantly, we're up to 14.5 volts. So that's proof that there's a voltage regulator at work, or there's some sort of electronics happening here that when the vehicle's up to temperature and idling, that it was cutting the alternator voltage, which was really something that was harming batteries from what you've seen on the forums. This little connector right here, the one that's sitting right on front of the negative terminal on the battery, that's what goes and puts us into this low power mode. And as we're at 14.5 volts, that's what we're showing on the dash. So honestly, guys, this is going to be a choice that you're going to have to make. This little plug is super easy to remove and reinstall if you need to, if there's a warranty issue. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and cover the top of this, that way no corrosion happens, that it is nice and safe, and I'm gonna zip tie it to the negative terminal on the battery. Hopefully that eliminates any sort of battery issues in the future, and if for whatever reason it has to go back to Nissan, it can be easily plugged back in just so there's no issues. No, this was a short video. Hope you guys found it useful. If you guys have done this to your truck or are considering doing this to your truck, let me know exactly what's been going on to cause you to do this. I'd love to kind of keep a running tally of what issues everybody's had that's been voltage related or battery related. And if you've replaced your battery already, I want to know how long it's lasted you. If we can all keep track of this stuff, I think we can really hold Nissan to be accountable for this sort of stuff and hopefully get this technology to improve in the future. As always, if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. There'll definitely be some more Nissan Titan videos to come. Stay tuned, we'll be back.